Unload. Push. Seat. Hey everybody, Brian here, and we're gonna do a fun episode here. We brought Dom here today. A lot of you on Instagram have asked a lot about Dom. You saw his pictures and stuff on there, and you had questions about Dom, so we're gonna talk a little bit about him today. Second thing we're gonna talk about is the Bonanza. That's the plane we use to get a lot of the air-to-air shots that you see on a bunch of our videos, and we've had a lot of comments come in now saying, hey, how did you guys do that? Well, we're gonna fly in that plane and show it to you, and we're gonna show you the cockpit and the panel on that plane. We've done a lot of really cool stuff to it. So we're gonna talk about that. And then the third thing we're gonna talk about, seeing that we do have Dom here from E3 Firearms Association, we're gonna talk about firearms in our aircraft, and we'll have a little conversation about that. And I really want to get information from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say about all the stuff we're going to talk about today. Obviously, I'm not here to train you on firearms, and that's not what we do here, but you know, we want to talk a little bit about, well, what do we do? And we're not telling you what to do, but we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So Dom, just to give you a little background on Dom, he actually, he's kind of like the mascot over at E3 Firearms Association, our sister company, and you'll see him in the magazines, you'll see him on videos, clearing houses, doing tactical procedures and on the range and things like that. But you'll see a lot of him over there, and that's why originally he came to our family. So he originally came to us from a company that was training him every day for 2 years, getting him prepared to go to the services. He was going to be heading off to Texas to start doing his training, and from there, who knows where he was going to end up. But we got him just before he went off to Texas. And we were looking for a dog that we could use for training, for video training and for training in E3 Firearms and things. So Dom actually came to us, came to our family, and he is a full, pure German Shepherd. He's got the straight back. I'll show you him in a second there. He is Schützen, so he's IPO level 3. So he's fully trained, and now he's just kind of our company mascot and our family protection dog. So that's what he does, and you'll see a little bit more about him now that everybody's been asking. He loves to fly. So depending on where we're going, what we're doing, whether we jump into Conquest 2 to go for a long flight, or if we're jumping into Bonanza like we are today just to go up for a lunch or something. I tried to get him in the Carbon Cub. He's just a little too big, and I would have had to modify. I know they can do it. I just didn't want to modify the aircraft that much to get him in there and take the stick out of the back and stuff like that. But tried to get him in the Carbon Cub. Definitely not going to get him in the Extra. So I can't even lift him up there. But he just loves to fly. And wherever we go as a family, or whenever we go do something, even on the airlines, if we have to take the airline somewhere, he's right there. He just lays down into the seat. We'll show you some pictures and stuff like that. But that's Dom. So we'll talk a little bit more of him as we go. But let's go over and load them up, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Bonanza and then how we deal with firearms when we're traveling the plane. So let's head over to the Bonanza. Push. Seats. Load. I just wanted to get back on the firearms talk about traveling cross-country with your firearms in your airplane. We already talked about how I pack my cases and they're unloaded in hard cases and all that. But just think, as a pilot, it's already a lot of burden doing your flight plan across country and your fuel planning and everything you got to think about. But now to add firearms into that equation, it just puts a whole lot of new variables into that conversation in your situation as a pilot. So just think about it. You can use the safe passage laws to travel across the country, whether in your car or in your airplane, but you have to follow certain rules and regulations even to do that, to travel across country. But at the same time, you know, where you're going to do your fuel planning, you got a fuel stop somewhere. If you're not reciprocal with that particular state, now you got issues that come up there that you got to worry about. Or what if you have to fuel stop in a state you're not reciprocal in? Even if you use safe passage laws, if you end up needing to stay overnight or bad weather or you have a mechanical issue, you have to go to a hotel, now you're illegal because you're in a state that you don't have reciprocal in and you're going to a hotel or something. So those are issues you got to think about. Then you've got issues about certain states and airports that you're allowed to have firearms on the ramp with, whether it's TSA type airports or any other issues. So you've got all the variables of laws in different states. So I don't even stop at a state I'm not reciprocal at to fuel up. I just fly right over those states. Of course, I'm doing everything else legal. Everything's locked up. But now you have to think of all those additional things. Say you have an issue, you're flying over a state and you have a maintenance issue or a mechanical issue and you got to land. Well, now you got to think about that. So, you know, locking them up, I think, is just a little added safety. Obviously, you want to have them locked up for obvious reasons where people can't get access to them and stuff. But if you did have an actual incident and you have to land in a state, and for some reason your firearm comes into the equation with whatever issue you have in that state, you know, it might give you a little bit of extra lenience if you're in front of a judge saying, "Judge, this is this, but I did all the responsible things. My firearms are locked up. I was following the safe passage laws." You might get a little lenience. Obviously, again, I'm not telling you you should do that, but versus your firearm just being in the open or not locked up or anything, and then you have that incident. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but you've got to think of all these different variables that now come into play when you're traveling across country with your firearms. So things to think about. I'd love to get thoughts from you all. If you could put some comments down below there and let me know what you guys do or thoughts that you guys have, where you get your information about this stuff. It would be great to get this information for you guys. And then from E3 Firearms Association, our sister company, Adam's going to be coming over and doing a webinar and a live call for everybody where we can get into this and talk to him as an expert in law enforcement, and he can answer our questions on this. And that'll be, and by the way, if you're not an E3AviationAssociation.com premium member, come on over and join E3 Aviation Association, because that's where you get a lot of these great videos and all this awesome stuff that we do for you. But come on over, join the premium membership. So we'll have Adam on the podcast here real soon, and we'll talk about this topic and try to get you a little more information. So, all right, great. We're heading into landing here, and we'll see you on the ground. Okay, so hey, we just had lunch here in Fort Pierce with Dom, and we're gonna head back down. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I pack my firearms when we're flying cross country in the airplane. I do want to say this is not a conversation about TSA or FAA or anything like that. I'm gonna talk about some of the state, federal laws, but again, this is an education. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just going to share with you what I do. I know that I hear some people out there say, well, that's why I got my plane, so I can carry concealed and just fly with it on my hip. I don't think it's a good idea, but anyway, that's you. But what I typically do, and I do the same, basically the same thing I would do if I'm in the airlines. We have a hard case, which we'll show you here. Hard case that is locked double locked where you can't even get your finger in there if you open it. So firearms are unloaded, ammunition is separated, and it's in a locked case, and then I keep it in the cargo area of the aircraft. So that's basically how I do it, especially if your kid's on the plane, or if you have other people on the airplane. I know that sometimes I've heard, some of the females say, well, I keep it in my purse and then I just put my purse back here. But think about it. If you have a passenger or something, or somebody says, hey, can you reach back there and grab a water for me or whatever, and they reach back and happen to get their hand in your purse, now you got a firearm on your hand. So you got some legal issues at that point too. So it's out of your control and things. So I just don't go there. I mean, there's what's legal, and then there's what's smart. So I typically just make sure all my firearms are unloaded and they're packed in a hard case. And I'm not talking about the cheap cases that come with your pistol or something. And maybe you can get away with those, but I'm talking a hard Pelican case. I got foam inside, it's cut for the firearms, and then I pack those back here. So that's just a little bit about that. So we're gonna jump back in, head down, and we're gonna show you the panel on the Bonanza, and also talk a little bit more about how we did aerobatic, air-to-air filming, and how we do air-to-air photography. This plane, we take these doors off the plane, and then the cameramen get put inside here. They have harnesses on and things. Obviously they're in seatbelts, but they also have harnesses. So they'll be in here and they'll be filming with these doors off the plane. So you probably saw some of that, and I know some folks said, hey, how did you do that? Well, this is how we did it. These doors came off. And I'll talk a little bit about that when we're flying back south, about what we did and things like that. So let's jump back in the plane and head out of here.
So I just want to spend a minute and show you the panel of the Bonanza. I know a lot of questions have come in. Again, this is the plane we use to do a lot of the air-to-air filming and air-to-air photography. We take the doors off the back. And so in this panel, of course, we got the big TXIs here and the small TXI here. Love this setup. I think Garmin did a great job on this. We do have the plug-in for synthetic vision, and you can see here that I usually keep wide out on this screen. This one I'm usually in a little closer, and got great situational awareness. All right here we got XM weather, of course, as well as the ASB weather. And then of course we have two 750s right here to the right. And depending on what I'm doing, what trip it is, I'll configure these a little different. Usually I have the traffic always there. I'd use this a little bit wider out. And of course I control XM and radios and things here. So then we have our King autopilot. So that's it. I mean, we got a full Garmin panel here, and then of course we have our digital climate control system down here for the AC. Love that upgrade. That's just been awesome. And that's the panel here. So hey guys, we're right in the spot where we did a lot of the aerobatic air-to-air filming, and we do some air-to-air photography and things. And again, in this Bonanza, we take the two doors off in the back there, and you can probably see some of the other videos that we have out there where we had F-16 Viper pilot. Rain was out on the wing there and the extra. We had Thunderbird pilot. Slick was right here on the right seat calling the show and stuff. But this was right where we did the filming and some of the air-to-air photography and stuff. So again, this Bonanza is a great platform to do that. And you can barely feel it when we're flying. You don't even know, other than it's warm in the cockpit and the AC doesn't cool it. You really don't feel it much with that door off. Bonanza did a great job on figuring that out. So this area that we were doing that, we'll show you some of those videos and stuff here, and we'll see you in a few minutes down the road here.
Clear to go. 7 Yankee Victor, flight of 2, smoke on. All right, great. So hope that you got a little information there to think about, and we'd love some comments down below, especially about firearms. We would like to hear your thoughts on what you guys do. And I said again, we're going to have Adam coming over from E3 Firearms Association over to E3 Aviation Association, and we'll be doing some webinars and some contests on that. So watch for those, because there'll be some great information from an expert in that world. You got a chance to see a little bit more about the Bonanza. We'll dive in more into Bonanza. We haven't done a whole lot about the Bonanza, but we'll dive in more. You guys are definitely going to see it more with the doors off as we're doing more air-to-air photography and air-to-air video and things. So, and then you got a chance to meet Dom. I know a lot of you guys, we all love our pets. We love flying with our pets, and you know, we'll do some more stuff with Dom. I know a lot of you have been giving us some messages and direct messages and stuff. You'd like to see more with Dom. So we'll definitely do some more of them in the future. But hopefully that was a good quick video. If you guys get a little information, please comment down below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say and how you guys deal with firearms and traveling in your own aircraft. So we'll see you on the next one. So long.